This video is brought to you by Ashtanga for Dummies. Get my essential guide to Ashtanga Yoga for beginners at yogatraveler.net/Ashtanga Yoga.
Hello. Today we will learn the benefits of Mukta Hasta Sirsasana, or some people call it Tripod Headstand. Couple of reasons why we would want to do a headstand. It brings blood flow to the top of the head, so you're going to stimulate your senses, your eyes, ears, nose, all of the sinuses, the things that help us take in information about our world. Will bring the blood flow into the head, flush them, and then when we release, when we come back out of the pose, all the blood flow comes down the body and releases, and it's like a clarity of thought and mind. Headstands do a great deal for the strength of our upper body. First, we have to develop that upper body strength in order to hold the pose. But we can build also strength through the shoulders, forearms, triceps, and create strength in the neck. This isn't a neck pose, but giving ourselves all that structure and that support can help lengthen the neck muscles. So really beneficial for the upper body, definitely. And we also have to use the abdominals, our core strength, in order to hold our legs up in the air. So we're just going to get a good strength for the whole upper torso. The headstands are also wonderful for courage. So it's scary to stand on our head in the middle of the floor. And we learn to play around with a little bit of fear factor. There's lots of things in life that are scary and that we need to be afraid of, but there's also a few things that maybe are holding us back, and we want to overcome some of that. And headstands can maybe give us a little bit of courage. We can flip our focus upside down, look at the world through different eyes, and maybe evaluate some of our fears. So let's talk about the structure of Mukta Hasta Sirsasana, or tripod headstand, so you can really feel secure in the base of the pose and maybe be encouraged to be able to lift the legs off the floor. The most important thing about any headstand position is the base, where the hands, the arms, the head all rest on the floor. If you're putting too much pressure on a certain part of your base, you could strain your neck, you could lose your balance. The structure is essential. And Mukta Hasta Sirsasana, or tripod headstand, can be really stable in your base. And so a lot of people start here with their very first headstand in this pose. Let's set it up and see how it might feel. So you're going to come from all fours, place your hands down, and you notice that my hands are directly beneath my shoulders. Shoulders, elbows, and wrists stacked. Now we take our head in front of our hands. We're going to make 3 points. Remember, it's a tripod, so 3. So I'll walk my knees forward and take my head down to the floor. See how my head is in front of my hands. As I'm on my knees here, I can see my fingers on the floor. Then there's these elbows here. You notice that the elbows are pointed back toward the back of my mat. They're not out to the side. They're not out here. They're pointed back. This is like doing a chaturanga upside down, really. This chaturanga structure of the arms. And they create a perfect shelf right here that I'm going to lift my knees upon. So if you come up to a down dog, just kind of walk the feet forward, then lay the knees right on that shelf on the forearms. And you are in the tripod headstand. So this is not the full Sirsasana. This is like halfway there. We're balancing on the forearms. Our head is down. Our hands are very supported and structured. A couple of things that I will see people do in my class is to squeeze the knees against the arms instead of placing them on the forearms. So let me just show you what that looks like. This is much harder. So if I take my knees around the arms, I have to use my inner thigh to really squeeze
and keep the legs in place without letting them fall down. There's nothing for them to rest on. So if you can walk your knees up onto those forearm shelves, it's so much better. Now my inner thigh can just relax. I'm just balancing. I've just shifted my weight and balancing there on top.
Let's see what it takes to maybe extend the legs off of the shelf next. Moving into the full Mukta Hasta Sirsasana pose, we can use that tripod pose as a prep and a step toward lifting the legs all the way up into the air. So let's see what this looks like. Let's come back into our structure. So we've got our hands right directly underneath the shoulders, elbows, wrists. The head down on the floor in front of the hands so I can see my hands, my elbows pointed back toward the back of the mat. Lift onto your toes, place the knees on the forearms, and balance. Of course, you can stay here. You're in a headstand, but we're talking about lifting off of this position. Come to a pike position. So you're going to pull those knees off and balance right here, just hovering. So we're not quite all the way up, but we're feeling really controlled, and you can control your center. We're not going to fling our legs up, which might tip us over. So now start to gently, with control, lift your legs up to the sky. See how controlled that is. Of course, we need to keep that abdominal strength as we hold that balance. We can't let our middle become a noodle. Nice and strong at the center. When you feel like you've had enough, just gently bend your knees. You might even be able to place them back on your forearms. A little bit easier here. And then lower down. Come to a child's pose. Let your body relax. Let the blood flow move out of the head, back into the body. And gently lift yourself up. Try that progression. See if it works for you. You're always welcome to use a wall behind you. Although, if you use a wall, you won't feel the same kind of stimulation through your center. Let's see what it might feel like, though, if you use a wall. Utilizing a wall will help you to feel supported, so you not have the legs out in the middle of the floor. But it can be a little detrimental because if you rely too much on the wall, you'll never find your center. So be cautious about using a wall. Just beware that you do need to build up that strength in the middle of your body and in your forearms and not be relying on the wall. Let me just show you what it looks like with the wall, and you can give it a try. So come back to our all fours always. We've got that position. We have our head facing the wall, of course. My hands won't touch the wall because our head is going to be very close to the wall as we come forward. So we'll put our head down. My head's almost up against the wall, not quite, but almost there. Then you can move into that tripod position. See how my hips are shifting toward the wall. And then if you want to walk your feet, here's the wall right there. You can walk your feet up the wall to get a little stability. Now I would test your strength, test your balance by maybe tipping a foot off the wall and holding it in position. That wall is there to catch you in case you get wobbly. Let's see if you can hold it there. Good. And when you're ready, gently bring yourself back down. You can walk down that wall and bring yourself back down. Again, into a child's pose is a really great way to end the pose so that you don't get a big head rush as you lift off. Thank you for joining me today for this exploration of Mukta Hasta Sirsasana, or tripod headstand. I hope that it's given you a little courage and help you to build up a little strength for your abdominals and your upper body. A great way to build strength is with Ashtanga. I have a program for Ashtanga. It's a power form of yoga. Build up a lot of strength and really enjoy being able to do things like arm balances and headstands. So check out Ashtanga for Dummies at www.yogatraveler.online/Ashtanga. I'll drop the link in the info of this video. Thanks so much for joining today.